Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to Realtor on the Roof. Today we are going to be talking about best practices to prepare for seeing land, as well as some tips on etiquette for seeing said land. I'm Stephen J.B. Davis. As you may know, I am your land specialist and residential realtor here in Kentucky. It's December. While it is sunny, it is still a little bit cold, so I'm sitting here in the sun, and of course, I am not on my roof. I'm actually on a stump. I'm getting my roof replaced, which I'm very, very excited about, but it is not the safest to be up there right now. As I said before, we're going to be talking about how to prepare for seeing land and some etiquette and courtesy things that you should get in the practice of exercising when you are with your agent, hopefully me, who is showing you said land. So let's get started. The three basic things about preparation. First would be to make sure you have gas in your car. That is super obvious, but sometimes people just get so excited that they don't do that. And the reason why it's important is because depending on where you're going, you may get there just fine, but where there's a gas station for miles, I don't know. And whether we have service to search for one of those gas stations, I also don't know. I can research a lot and I can try to prepare you as best as possible, but I can promise you I am not out looking for gas stations in a 5-mile radius or 10-mile radius every time I go out. Instead, I make sure that I have gas in my car, and I recommend that you do the same. So the second thing is to dress the part. That may sound, again, obvious, but here are some things. One, weather changes. So it's not just coming dressed for what we're seeing, it's coming dressed for, or at least coming prepared rather, for things that could be. So maybe you don't love wearing boots, totally fine. But if there could be rain, your Nike tennis shoes are not going to probably do the trick if we've got a lot of walking and hiking to do. Same thing with temperature. Depending on where we are in the state, it might be 10 degrees cooler. Maybe there's a lot of wind or something in one part of the state where we're headed versus the part of the state that we came from. So making sure that you can add layers, making sure that you can control how wet you're going to be, all that kind of stuff. Because in the interest of time, if we've got to stop everything because you're basically going to get soaked, it's bad for everyone. It's bad for you who spent time to get out there. Maybe it was a 1-hour drive, an hour-and-a-half drive, a 2-hour drive. It's certainly bad for me for the same reasons, but it's also one of those things where, we might not have an opportunity to go see it for a while again. So you don't want to cut your day short because you haven't prepared for something that could happen. And there's that. Then there's the safety aspect. A lot of the land that I go out to show people, if it's somewhere around 20, 30 acres at the low end, a lot of those landowners that are selling their land have leases on their property for hunting. And you can see I've got my orange blazes on, and it was just so that I wouldn't forget to talk about this, but you don't want to be mistaken for a deer. You don't want to be, and that could be for people that are hunting on their property. It could be for people that are hunting the property that abuts what we're seeing. You want to make it clear that you're a human, because that would be a really bad way to go, and just terrible. So if you don't have hunting blazes, go on Amazon, get an orange vest, get a neon yellow / green vest, the things that people that work in traffic engineering and road construction, those types of colors. Get something bright, something unnaturally bright, so that it's clear, hey, I'm a human, I'm walking around, and you can decrease your chance of any sort of terrible accident. The last thing, as far as preparation goes, is to bring food and water. Like that gas station idea, who knows where the closest fast food is or any sort of hot food at all. When you're in a really rural area, the conveniences of living in a place like Lexington or a place like Richmond or a place like Nicholasville are not as apparent. I remember I was down in Wayne County, Kentucky, which is like southernmost Kentucky, basically straight down 75, mostly straight down 75. And I did not have a lot of land to see. I had one place to see, and I was with my colleague Violet, and we were hungry after. But the closest Wendy's was 45 minutes away. You don't want to be in a position where you are seeing multiple properties, and on your second out of 5 properties, or your first out of 3, or whatever the case may be, you start to get hangry. You're trying to decide whether or not you want to spend your hard-earned money, but it's going to be very difficult to do that on an angry stomach, on an empty stomach, with a dehydrated body, all those types of things. So bring water, and not just like, your little Dasani. Bring a couple of bottles. Bring some snacks that you like. People have different allergies. I don't generally make a habit of bringing a picnic for my clients because I don't know what their food limitations or preferences are. So take care of that stuff. Just put it in a lunchbox. You'll be happy that you did, especially if you've got a long day ahead, and it'll make your decision-making process just so much easier when you can do it with a full stomach and generally in a good mood. And the fourth and final preparation tip is just to bring a charged and functioning phone. It doesn't matter who I work with, whether they're looking for a house or whether they're looking for acreage or some combination of the two. There's always something that a buyer forgets to tell me, some detail that matters to them that I'm totally unaware of. And especially when it comes to land, where you're already traveling a great distance in order to see it, where a lot of stuff can look the same anyway, and it can be easy to mix one thing with the other. A phone and the camera capabilities on a phone are objective. They take the pressure off of you having to remember stuff for when you do get ready to make your decisions, and you get to document things that maybe you haven't told me are important to you, that are important to you. You can also share those things with someone who may not be able to join us when we are going to visit a property. And lastly, it's a great way to be able to have a reminder of something to ask me about. Maybe you have told me everything, but when it comes to perhaps something you're trying to describe about the land in order to get more information, it's a lot easier when we can talk about something concrete that we can all see versus going back and forth trying to describe an aspect or an area or a feature of the land when you can just put it on your phone. So I encourage everybody to take pictures, take video of the things that matter to them, the things that they want to ask about, and in that way it just makes us more productive, and it keeps us focused. Woof, it is getting cold. But let's move on to etiquette. And this is nothing like, it's not like a country club. These are not written rules about seeing land, but they're nice courtesies that will protect you, that will make your land professional, hopefully that professional is me, to feel better, and just for everybody to have a more comfortable and more focused time. So the first thing is, don't go see land if you don't have permission. We all get excited and we all think this is going to be great. I really, really want to see this. And that's a totally normal feeling. However, if you don't own it, then there's no other way to put it. You don't have any right to be there. You don't have that right to be there until you have that permission to be there. A landowner is going to give you that permission either through themselves, if they're selling that property on their own, or through their listing agent. And if you don't have written or verbal consent for you to be on their property, then you shouldn't be there, no matter how excited you are. If it's not yours, don't go. The second thing is this is more of a courtesy. This is something that I like. It's something that I do for anybody that I haven't met. But if I'm meeting them for the first time and seeing them for the first time on a piece of property that I'm showing them, I let them know what I'm driving and what I look like. And if we've exchanged emails, they probably know what I look like already because my pictures and my signature, but generally I may not know what they look like. So tell your land professional what you're driving, and what to expect when you come to meet them at wherever it is the tract is, because it can put them at ease, it can put you at ease. Everyone's generally in an unfamiliar place, at least a lot of times, and so it's nice to know what to look for when you're out in a very remote part of the state and you may not know anyone, which is usually the case. All right, and the last one is to leave your pets at home. There are a lot of reasons for that. It's out of respect for a landowner. They said that you can come to the property, not you and your fur family. But secondly, it can be very distracting. When an animal is in an unfamiliar place, domesticated or not, their behavior tends to change. And so if you're spending your energy making sure that your dog is comfortable in this new environment, it's distracting away from the goal, which is to figure out whether you want to continue exploring this land ultimately for the reason of purchasing it. The third reason is a lot of dogs, as much as they love playing at the dog park, find that the experience of being in wide open spaces is very exciting, which means that they tend to just dart off. And so not only is that anxiety inducing for you as a pet owner, it's anxiety inducing for me, because I feel inclined to help you. But once they go off onto someone else's property and all that kind of stuff, then we have a totally different situation, and an even larger problem on our hands of trying to find your dog. The last thing is that I don't always get noticed when there are other animals on a property. Case in point, I took a new pair of clients of mine to see some property, over in Mercer County, and to our surprise, the property was being leased to have cattle graze on it, and I had no idea. And a lot of dogs, again, most dogs, frankly, are not used to being around large animals like that. Certainly lots of large animals at one time. And so whether that amounted to little Fido getting trampled because a cow now feels threatened, or whether Fido injures some farmers' cattle, neither of those are a position that you as a landowner, or as a person interested in buying land, wants to be in. And it's no doubt a position that you're in by yourself, with your animal. There's no other way to put that. So just leave your pets at home. Okay, well, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. You can find me on social media at landandhomes.co. You can find my website at landandhomes.co. Share this with a friend that you think may need it. Give me a call if you've got something to buy or sell. Give me a call if you've got questions. And by call, I mean, the standard social media stuff, or actually call me on my phone. You can find my phone number on my website. And I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. I will not be making another episode until 2021. So until then, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Festivus, all the good stuff. I just wish good things to you and to the people that you love and care about. And take care of yourself. Adios.